Welcome to, guess what? We survived yesterday. Survived birthday cake, birthday pie, lots of food, lots of fun, lots of fellowship. Survived it all back here today for a Throwback Thursday. And honey, we are throwing it back a long way. During the time we're going to talk about, I actually wore a size 7. Y'all just go ahead and laugh. And lots of fun back in Orlando where I grew up, and I happen to have a couple of people that are going to join me shortly that have that Orlando look. They look to me like they grew up on Gabriel sub sandwiches. They look to me like they might have gone to a school that I really loved. They look to me like they might know a lot about the places I lived as a child, and am still mad to this day for Walt Disney going down there and destroying Orlando, because it was a wonderful small town, a little bit like Marietta used to be, but Orlando is now the metropolis of craziness. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, because we are throwing it back a long way. Birthdays is always a very special day. And today I'm going to do some birthdays for today and tomorrow, because some people I love are having tomorrow birthdays. Happy birthday to Viola Raper. Happy birthday to George Robinson. Uh-oh, wrong list. Did y'all give me the right list? Is this right? Maybe it is. I think it's right. I hope it's right. It's right. Okay, it is. No, it's not, y'all. It's not. Let me see if this one's right. Hold on a minute. Oh, my Lord. I gave him the one out of my pocketbook that was wrong. So we're going to have to take a break and get it out of my pocketbook and get the right one, because I did the wrong one. I can tell you who's having a birthday today, though. Somebody very special. Tomorrow is Lydia Dockery Long, and she's one that I wanted to get in. So I'm going to have to dig through my pocketbook, because I brought the wrong list, and I'm going to find the right one before we do this. I've never done that before, so I guess it's the excitement of throwing it back to when we were kids. But so many folks in this area have come to know and love these mountains, and they came here from somewhere else. As a realtor, we see people from everywhere. Now, I love when folks from up north come here and they move, and then they want to change everything we do. Well, that just doesn't work for us. When we bring you here, we want you to love what we're doing. And my guest today, one of them has been here 12 years. Well, he absolutely loves the mountains, and he could be an ambassador for these beautiful mountains. And he has arranged an event that's going to happen this spring with classmates that we had from way back when. So we're throwing it back to about the 7th grade at Robert E. Lee Junior High School, which is something you don't have around here. You have middle school or high school. But we had junior high school. And like everything else in all the media going on, they're changing our Robert E. Lee Rebels to just Lee, which is just crazy, because Robert E. Lee was really a person. And we really did have a rebel flag, and it's kind of dumb that they're doing away with it, but it looks to me like they've already done away with it. So we're going to talk about the past, and I'm going to try to find the correct birthday list. So we're going to take a commercial break. And today I'm going to share some music with you and some photos, because today is a picture-perfect day. Even if it's chilly outside, if it's cool, get your camera and go out, because today is a day that you will see things that you normally don't see in the spring. I don't know if you've noticed it about these parts around here, but the kudzu covers up everything. So get your camera today. You will see waterfalls that you can't see during the summer or spring. You will see rivers that are absolutely crystal clear this week, because it's just absolutely beautiful. We're going to go up to McKaysville and spend a little time staring at the Toccoa, which is a beautiful river. But get your camera out, and then do like I do and put it on a DVD. Just add a little bit of music to it, and remember those times, because what do I say about a day? Of course, it's a daycation. Get out and do something different that you haven't done. Share a meal, a memory, and take that camera with you, because I found this out moving. I've got a box of pictures here, a box of pictures here, a box of pictures here. Then I started putting them on CDs. Have tons and tons of that stuff. And I love putting it on DVD and sharing it with y'all. So we're going to share a little bit of that of a couple of trips we have taken. Freddie is famous for finding covered bridges. He loves old covered bridges. He loves old cars. He loves old buildings. I love old historical homes. So today, the sun is out. It's going to be about 55 degrees. It is time for you to get out and enjoy these beautiful mountains in the winter. We're going to take a commercial break while I dig and try to find the correct birthday. I can't believe I did this. I'm going to whoop myself. When we come back, I'll probably have a smack on my face where I've slapped myself. Also, wanted to keep y'all updated on what's going on. I have a great doctor, and she's scheduling surgery, and she and a neurosurgeon are going to go in, and they're going to fix this arm. And then I can, after 6 weeks after surgery, I can quit wearing this tacky thing. But anyway, it was one of those things. She put my MRI up and she showed me all the different levels and all the different layers of my skin and my bones and all this junk. You're going, oh, I wish I hadn't seen that. But anyway, she's going to fix it, and she has called in a great neurosurgeon, and they're going to work together, and they're going to fix this little problem that I had when I fell on flat ground. So be careful out there, y'all. And I'll just say, when you get my age, anything can happen. I think things fall harder when you get older. I'm beginning to feel that. So we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I hope I have the right birthdays with you. I'll let you know in just a second. I've slapped myself 2 or 3 times. I am going to do the birthdays I found, and all I can do is apologize. The ones that I had that I got messages, I swear I wrote them down. I left them laying on the printer and brought the ones that were laying on the table from last week. So I'm sorry. Y'all can slap me when you see me. But my buddy Lydia Dockery Long, and I could not let this go by without saying happy birthday to a lady who has been such an instrumental piece of getting me back to me. She is amazing. She is precious, precious prayer warrior. Love her, love her, love her. Happy birthday coming up to Linda Davis, to Christina Green, to Tony Martin, to Daryl Payne, who is a great success story, to Cherie Cornelius, to Jennifer Jones, to Will Beatty. Happy birthday, Will Beatty. And to Jordan Senior, who happens to be a new dad to a precious little boy named Asher. He is such an angel. And to Gail Woodall. And rumor has it that for your birthday, you're going to see Ronnie Millsap. So enjoy that concert. To Jessica Hall, to Randy Jones, to Vicki Cloud, and to Janet Turner, to Mary Mulkey. Happy birthday. And you make Larry do something special for you. And to my sweet, sweet buddy, Macy Paget. What a precious, precious young lady. I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday to you, and to Carla Ash, to Scotty Pack. All these are weekend birthdays, and a lot of folks are having weekend birthdays. And to the mom of little baby Asher, or to the mom of Asher's dad, to Melissa Sinyard. Happy, happy birthday to you. To Cindy Watkins, to Rusty Martin, to Robbie Newton, Shirley, to Robbie Newton. There you go. Happy birthday to each of you. And to my buddy Teresa Dobbs, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day. And today's birthdays, all I can do is apologize because I blew it. I've never done that before. I guess that's the good thing about live TV. You fly by the seat of your pants and it either works or it doesn't. All right, y'all, we are throwing it back as far as you can go. Back to my childhood when I was a scrawny little girl with lots of thick black hair, loving the Beatles, loving the Beach Boys, living in Orlando, Florida, and lucky enough to live in a community called College Park, and developed friendships that lasted over 50 years. And then have a new friendship. So I'm going to introduce you first to my new friend, Ted McConnell, who was in the 7th grade, the same time I was at Robert E. Lee.
Yep.
And you relocated to the mountains in Georgia. Why?
Why? Well, we had come up here on vacations, my wife and I, from about 1975 until we decided to do it, and just fell in love with it. And
that's what I'm hoping. I've got Shirley up here because we've been friends 52 years, and I'm hoping that there's something about these mountains that Shirley will go back to Florida and say, I think I want to go back to the mountains.
Well, all she needs to do is drive in the traffic every day for a couple weeks, and
yeah, that will do it.
Have fond memories of what it was, like
That's
up
right.
here.
Now, the two of you went to the same high school, which was Edgewater. I didn't get to go to high school down there because we moved. Mama moved us the summer that I was 14. And I'm still mad at Mama about that. I will always be mad because Mama disrupted my perfect life. We had a wonderful life in Orlando. It was a small town. And Ted, you stayed long enough to see the destruction of what big city happened to Orlando, didn't you?
Oh, without a doubt. We watched the city, just blossom, and at first it was very nice. It was jobs were there, and gosh, when Disney opened, there was opportunity. Plus, there was a lot of things to do, but with that came people. And more people and more people. And with Disney and then Universal Studios, SeaWorld and everything else, it just became, in my opinion, a place where all the world's worst drivers came.
Absolutely.
And they all drove in front of me.
Yeah. Now, Shirley, you left Orlando and went to a tiny town 25 years ago? Mm-hmm. Okay, tell me a little bit about the tiny town you chose and why y'all fled Orlando.
Well, actually it was because of money. Mm-hmm. My youngest daughter decided to get into horses, and we were boarding 2 horses in Orlando, which was too expensive. Mm-hmm. So we bought property in a little teeny town called Astatula.
Right. Or if you do the GPS, what does it say? It's something.
Astatula.
Astatula. Yeah. Freddie loves to hear that. So, and you stayed in Astatula until recently when you sold your home.
Right. My husband passed away, and so
now I'm trying to coerce you into having a second home in Georgia. I don't expect you to give Florida up completely, but these mountains are just wonderful.
You still have convincing. You're going to show me something today, so we'll see.
I'm going to show you the Toccoa River today, and we're going to spend some time up in Fannin County. And Ted, when we look at from Ball Ground to Fannin County, that area, and you look at all the areas that have grown, Gilmore County's doing well. We'll never have the jobs that Orlando has. We know that. But at retirement age, we're all at retirement age, you bring your money with you, or you find a part-time job that you really like, and you just settle into these mountains. And I think that's something we've seen. Now, Bella told me that she wanted to live in the mountains because it's better for her sensitive skin, because it's cooler. Yeah. Bella, will you now pay attention to me? That is the sweetest. Now, can we talk a little bit? Today we're going to the thrift store that I volunteer at, and it's Tri-State Pet Rescue. And we're going to take Bella and introduce her to all the volunteers and the things that we do there. you're also very involved in pets in Orlando, and that kind of kept you from being sad and down and depressed after you
Right.
lost your husband.
I do pet sitting on the side because I love animals.
Right.
The only animal I won't pet sit is snake.
You won't pet sit a
Draw
snake?
the line at snakes.
Would people actually ask you to pet
Yes.
sit a snake? Are you serious?
And one of the clients that we had 6 dogs and a huge python in a huge cage.
And they wanted you to pet sit.
And every time I went in to get the key to open up their house, it lunged at the cage, and
Oh,
all I
no.
saw was its white underneath side, and I'm just terrified.
No, yeah,
And
I couldn't do
didn't-
that.
No,
I couldn't do that, no.
I don't like them.
No. Now, your daughter still lives in College Park, the area that we grew up in. And when I went to visit her, College Park is not the little tiny development it used to be.
It's grown and
It's-
getting bigger every day.
Yeah, yeah. So things have changed drastically. Would she ever leave Orlando?
She did leave Orlando for a little bit. They moved just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, but she was too homesick, so she came back.
Came back.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I'm not to say if Mr. Wright came along, she might move.
Right, and we'll just start out there. She's single, looking for a really good guy
Yeah.
with a really good 401k.
Yeah.
So, now Ted, your kids are still in Orlando, right?
I have a sister in Orlando, yes.
And how often do you go back to Florida?
We go back because our children and grandchildren are in Central Florida. We go back as often as possible for short stays. We were there over Christmas time. The kids came up to us for Thanksgiving, which was wonderful, which means that we'll be going to Florida for Thanksgiving this year,
Yeah.
and they'll be coming up for Christmas. But we go down probably 4 or 5 times a year, and sometimes my wife will go down. If she has a long stretch off, she'll go down by herself. I don't get that luxury very often because I'm a one-man operation
Right.
as far as my company is concerned, and although this time of year I could probably be gone for a week and no one would even
No one would know it.
no one would know
But
exactly.
they will soon in the spring. Yeah.
Yeah, springtime is my busy time. Spring, summer, and fall. After that, it's
Have you encouraged your kids to look at property up here?
yes. My son has told me on a couple of occasions that what his dream is to eventually move north and do a campground. He and his wife when their kids are grown. Now my oldest grandchild is 9 years old, so there's a long time before they grow and get the kids out of college. But it'll be interesting. Now my daughter says that we're too far away from the beach for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is something. Growing up in Orlando, we were an hour away in each direction, and that's something, Shirley, you've been looking at going to the beach, possibly to retire to the beach.
Right, because my oldest daughter loves the beach.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And my grandson, he loves the outdoors. He's an avid fisherman. Even though
Right.
he's 14, he loves
Well,
it.
I'd say if you brought Jack up here and we
Oh,
took
he would
him
want to
fly
hunt.
fishing,
He'd
he
want
would
to
love
hunt,
it.
too, yeah.
Yes,
I
he would
have
love
a
it.
friend that's a guide that can hook you up.
Yeah, I'm saying Jack
For
needs to come here and
fishing
visit
or
these
hunting.
Do a
mountains.
little bit of fly fishing, and he probably won't want to go.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd love it. He
Yeah,
would love
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those things, and we see a lot of tags from Florida and Fannin County. You know that. When you go to downtown Blue Ridge, probably over half the tags are from Florida. And these are people who have their summer homes here and do that for a few years until they retire, and then they become full-time residents.
Or they get tired of making that drive through
Yeah.
Atlanta
Yeah.
both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I met some people from Tampa who come up once a month. And they stay for a week, once a month. And I thought, if I had to drive through Atlanta and Macon and all that stuff once a month, I would just have to relocate. And they said, we're very close to retirement, and then we plan on doing that. So I think the realtors are seeing a lot of people. We love when the tag says Florida because that means they're getting serious about being here full time.
Okay.
Now we've got a reunion happening, a 1969 class reunion.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a. It's happening in the second weekend, I believe, of April. We're still looking for a place.
In this area.
Yeah, and what the Orlando coordinator has looked at Emicalola Falls Lodge, and my suggestion first was renting cabins here, there, and everywhere, and just getting together at central locations. One being at the Swan Drive-In, if we could rent it for one
Oh, that would
night.
be too awesome.
And,
Yeah.
and you know,
yeah.
play Easy Rider or Woodstock or something and have everybody
Right.
have a good time
Yeah.
doing that. But she felt that it'd be best to have everybody in close proximity, which does make a lot of sense.
Well, Shirley, you know, we should make a suggestion because the Woodbridge Inn has about 14 rooms and has amazing food. And we had dinner there last night. It was probably the best meal I've had in a long, long time.
Is Robin Trumbo one of your contacts?
Friends, Facebook friends, I think so. Yeah, so I can message her.
Message her.
But if we rented the whole Woodbridge Inn, it's walking distance to downtown Jasper, and you can get a view of Amicalola Falls, and it's only about 25 miles to Amicalola Falls. So if we wanted to go there for a picnic on a day, you know. But to be honest, if I had to choose between the lodge at Amicalola and being up on that mountain or being in a downtown central location where we could kind of come and go more, I would choose the central location.
Right. But she's coordinating the people down in Florida, and unfortunately, they're all up there. But you,
and
myself, and Mike Holloway, which I don't know if you know Mike or not.
Now, what about Donna? What's Donna's last name? She's up here. Oh man, she's over in Helen. Donna, I'll think of it.
Oh.
But anyway, there are enough of us up here now that we spread the word how wonderful it was to leave Florida and come up here.
Great.
And to go back, Shirley, how many times have I been back?
Not many.
Not many, not many.
Nope.
And honestly, between you and my sister and Gabriel's, those are the things I do when I go back. I see my sister, I see Shirley, and I see Gabriel's, and that's it. We don't go to Disney. We have no desire to do any of that. I don't ever want to get on I-4, ever.
Well, you used to go to Disney.
I used to go to Disney all the time. I had a timeshare there for 17 years. But I just got over all that crowd. And it's like now people make fun of me, but I live in Tonkin Rock and I head north. And that is the most spoiled thing you can do to yourself because I never have to face the stuff down south, you know. Don't go into Atlanta for any reason. Nothing down there I've lost, even though leaving Orlando, we landed in Atlanta.
I wouldn't even fly to Atlanta when I came up here.
No, she flew to Chattanooga and we picked her up in Chattanooga.
I think it's a wise
I
choice.
won't do the big
Very-
airport.
very wise choice.
And I fly out of Sanford Airport.
Yeah,
I won't
yeah.
do OIA.
Yeah, she told me what airline she was coming in on, and I said,
Was
is
that
that a
Allegiant?
puddle jumper? Yeah, and it wasn't a puddle jumper, although in Chattanooga you had to get off the plane.
Walk on the tarmac. That
Yeah.
was chilly.
Yeah.
It's cute if you fly out. You'll. I don't know how it is in Orlando, although I have flown into Orlando and out. But the first time I flew out of Chattanooga, the person issuing our ticket was at the desk, and then we went out to the gate. He was the one taking your tickets at the gate. And once we got on the plane, he was the guy that had the cones. And I expected him to.
Multitasking.
It's very small.
I expected him to jump in and fly the plane, but
Now, Tim, we got to talk about something. It's not happy, but it is good because Angela worked for you.
yes, you did.
And the reason I met you, even though we went to junior high school together, was you were in Fannin County, I was in Fannin County. Angela called one day and said, my boss and I are having lunch at Subway, or lunch in Fannin County, why don't you meet us for lunch? And so you and I connected that way, even though we had gone to the same junior high school together. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And can we talk a little bit about your business that allows you to be in Fannin County and be at home?
Certainly.
Okay. Tell me how you got started with the fish business.
Well, when I first moved up here, when we were anticipating moving up here,
And let's say your wife is a registered nurse.
she is, and she
Okay.
works at Fannin Regional Hospital.
Right.
When we first decided to move up here, at the time was imminent. Our kids were out of college. My daughter was married. We had nothing keeping us back in Orlando.
Escape route.
So we decided that we were going to do it. We had property in Fannin County, but it was a little bit more remote than we wanted to build. It was in Epworth, out Medola, and such. But anyway, we started bringing stuff up here and putting it in storage. And when we would, my wife would always grab the local newspaper, and I always traveled with my resumes. And she started reading one of these ads. She says, "This sounds like your resume." and I read it myself, and it was for a company called Pond RX. They were looking for someone to do front office, back office, purchasing, sales. I've done it all, inventory control and that type of thing. So I sent a resume, and I got a call, and I came up and I interviewed, and lo and behold, I got hired. And my start date was the first day you're free when you move up here. So we moved up here on a Saturday, unloaded everything, got it put away, rested on Sunday, started work on Monday. And basically what the company is very much of a niche company. It's an internet-based company dealing in fish health, specifically koi, and people have koi ponds.
Not fish you're having for dinner, but fish.
Correct, yes, not food fish.
No.
But ornamental pond fish, basically. And I didn't know squat about pond fish. I really didn't know what a koi was. But he said that it was a veterinarian that sold me the business, and or didn't sell me the business, hired me for the business. And he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll do the consultations.
So literally it is fish health. Like if we took Bella to the vet and sat her on the table and Dr. Mitchell said, this is what you need, you're doing that for a fish.
Yeah, but usually I'm treating the pond itself.
Okay.
Sometimes the fish out of water, but nothing I do has anything to do with surgery, although Doc Johnson, the fellow that owned the company at the time, he'd done many surgeries on fish.
See, the only surgery I think you do on a fish is when you're slicing, dicing, and eating it.
Amen. Filleting. Yeah. But anyway, I went to work for him on the Monday, and as I found out, he there less and less, relied more on me, and I didn't know what I was doing. There was a lady there that worked there that was fulfilling the orders and such, but I had to work to get up to speed, and once I learned the fish health end of it, I could do consultations over the phone. I didn't have to rely on him, and I wound up, he wanted to sell the company in 2006, and he offered it to me first, and I thought about it for 3 or 4 minutes and decided to do it.
Yeah.
And so I've owned it since May of 2006, I guess, or October of 2006, I think is when I went live, and moved it from Morganton to my home. So my commute is from upstairs down to the basement.
Yeah, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little tough. But I do different trade shows, or koi shows throughout the southeast, and Orlando is one of them, and that's a big one. But when I brought Angela on, we both worked. I worked a part-time job at Lowe's here in LJ. Not so much for the money, but for the social contact.
Right.
Because I'm a very gregarious person, and sitting in front of a computer all day long, not engaging enough for me, and I didn't have any contact with real people. So I took the job there, working weekends, and had all the benefits of working in a business setting. I mean, I had fellow employees, I had customers, and I just I rocked with it. I loved it. I had the money. I have no idea how much I made because it was all direct deposited into our home checking account. I did find myself a little bit frazzled because I was working 7 days a week. I was working my business Monday through Friday and working at Lowe's Friday evening, all day Saturday and all day Sunday. There's very little time for other things.
A life.
Concrete. Also, I had a broken heel at one point, and it was driving me crazy. But anyway, and got to be very good friends with quite a few people. One of them was your daughter Angela, and saw that she was really struggling financially. And I thought, well, I've got some clerical things that I could bring her on to do, and that's where it all where it started. And we got to be very good friends with her, coming in and working for me a couple days a week.
And she absolutely fell in love with what you did with the fish. And I can remember a picture, y'all were in Jacksonville or Orlando, I can't remember, at a show. And she sent a picture and it had a fish actually in her hand, a baby, a little tiny.
Yeah, that was...
Was it Jacksonville?
yeah, I think it was Jacksonville.
And I could see the light in her eyes was coming back. And you know, after that time she had battled cancer and she had gone through everything she'd gone through, but you actually put that light back in her eyes because she fell in love with those fish. And I said, that is the most ironic thing in the world, because one of the biggest arguments her dad and I ever had, he paid a ridiculous price for a little fish and brought it in and put it in the aquarium, and it proceeded to die the next day. And I was like, you're just like your daddy. You know, and I'm thinking that. But it was a great business and it was a great opportunity for her.
Well, and I think it did two things. Number one, it gave her a little bit of extra income, which she really needed, because Lowe's was giving her 15 or hours a week.
Not enough for anything. Yeah,
you can't live on that.
And she ended up having to work at Subway and at Lowe's and for you, so 3 jobs.
Yeah, and it also, I think I think that she just saw the beauty of the fish and this type of in the industry. The first show she did was Atlanta, and that was an eye-opener for her and for me, because she really got into what she was doing, and the rapport she had with the customer, you know, just the type of person she was. And
we did trade shows for 20 years in the floral industry, so it was something that she loved doing. That was always her favorite part of her job. So it worked well, and you know, it sadly ended like it did, but you were a big part of bringing her out of a deep depression at one time, and we all thought that she was getting better, and sadly no. But
I think her demons were, some of the demons that she had were not were inside, not shown on the outside.
Right, exactly. And it's something, you know, when you see somebody getting into a deep depression, I think we all have the ability to reach out. And you reached out to her really not knowing how serious it was.
That's
and
correct.
You just gave her something to hold on to with the fish industry. And I saw Shirley get really, really depressed after you lost Dan. And I think that doing the animal care, because when you communicate with an animal, there's total love there. You know, I mean, we see it with Bella, because Bella has flown how many miles?
A lot. A lot.
And Bella gets her own ticket bought, and Bella gets to fly all around the world. But has she helped you get through the hard times?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I always tell people, if you're having a really hard time struggling and you're saying, well, I'm always alone, get yourself a pet that really makes a difference.
It does.
Yeah. And now tell people about Bella, because I'd never seen a long-haired Chihuahua.
Bella's a long-haired. She's a rescue. She was terrorized by a 2-year-old child. Plus she was beat up by her brother.
Wow.
Who wouldn't let her eat. And I got her when she was 6 months old. And she's just a great dog. She doesn't bark. She doesn't nip at you, yap, which is typical of most Chihuahuas.
But one of the things she did, and I found this interesting, because she almost seems a little timid. She likes quiet, and she likes the peace and quiet. She rode around in a tractor and trailer with you and Dan.
Yep.
Now, a tractor and trailer is pretty noisy.
Well, she didn't like up front, so I had to go on the sleeper with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only has Bella flown around the world, Bella
She's been in the semi.
She's been trucking, and she is just such a great pet. Now, is this a breed? How old will Chihuahuas? Do they
No, they
traditionally?
usually get to be about 18 or 20, depending
Okay.
on like anything.
If they have
their
good
health,
care.
their health and everything. Yeah.
And can we disclose what Bella eats? Because Bella eats better than I do. Much better than I do.
Bella has a lot of allergies, so she's on a lot of human food that her mommy cooks for her. Like bison, which also known as buffalo.
Wow.
She's allergic to what everybody thinks a dog should have, is like chicken, rice. She's allergic to all that. So she has to eat other things.
Right.
So yeah, she does eat pretty good.
She eats green beans and carrots?
Carrots, yeah.
My lab used to
So
love
she's got
carrots.
good eyesight?
Love carrots.
Yeah.
And she likes to listen to you talk to her, see her turn her head.
And she loves men. And do
Yeah,
you
she
think that
loves
was her
men.
relationship with Dan?
Right, she really attached herself to my husband, and once he died, she turned, see all her little gray, she turned gray.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
she aged a lot when Dan died. But yeah, she loves men. She loves Freddie.
Yeah, she does.
Freddie's her new boyfriend.
She loves it. She loves it. But if we see so many people who go to grief share groups, and they're like, I've got to have somebody or something to occupy my time, and being a caregiver for a pet is a great way to do that.
And she's not. Some pets are very difficult to take care of, because of their needs, or they might be hyperactive. So Bella's not like that, as you've seen.
Right.
So.
She is the perfect dog because she just kind of sits there, watches TV with you, and relaxes, and travels well, and that's
She
what
does travel real well.
Yeah, she's a mess.
In the car, you just make her a little pallet, and she lays on it. The only time she gets up is if we stop, and then she gets up and looks around. So.
Okay, we talked about Denise. What's it like to have one daughter all the way in Pennsylvania?
Well, it's hard because she's got 3 children, and the newest one just turned a year old, so it's very hard. That's why I'm torn and thinking I might want to go up there.
And I said, if you come to Georgia, you're kind of halfway between the 2 girls.
Right,
so, yeah.
But, so I don't know, but yeah, I miss them a lot, so, and they're only little once, and I think about that a lot, so, yeah. Keeps pulling me.
Yeah, but I don't see you living in Pennsylvania. Yeah,
well, a lot of people don't see me living in Pennsylvania, but there's a lot of mountains up there, and there are a lot of big mountains up there. A lot of windy roads like
They're
here.
not the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, nothing as pretty as the Blue Ridge Mountains.
I don't know. That state in the fall is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. One thing I
But
will
they're not the Blue Ridge.
I will say about Pennsylvania is they keep their roads clear. Where I've heard
When
down
it's
here they
snow.
don't.
Yeah.
Because snow down here is not as frequent as it is up there, so.
They're still not the Blue
That
Ridge
makes a difference to me as a driver. I still drive.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to come upon snow. I want it to be gone to the side of the road.
Lordy. Can you put Bella up here and let's let everybody see how tiny she is? Because she is, what does she weigh?
She weighs 6 pounds.
Hey, Miss Bella, and you rescued her you just went to visit her, and was she one of the litter? Were there more than...
Just her and her brother.
Her and her brother?
Yeah.
Okay. And I doubt if her brother is as spoiled as Bella is.
Oh, well, I don't know.
She's pretty spoiled. Sounds pretty spoiled.
Mommy, why are you doing
And she's
that to
pretty
me?
good.
Yeah.
And she's going to go with us to Blue Ridge now. We're going to introduce her to Fannin County, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break, and it'll give Bella something new to look at so she can watch the commercials. And Bella, pay attention because we may want to have dinner at some of these places. Pay attention. We'll be back in just a few minutes, guys.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light, and the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he'd finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out a cigarette, faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold up, when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done.
Now, Shirley, were those beautiful old historical houses not tempting? Was that covered bridge not tempting?
Yes.
Was that Toccoa River not tempting?
Well, I have a lot of old B&Bs in Mount Dora. A lot of historical houses in Mount Dora.
I know. It is really hard to uproot after a death of a spouse or whatever, but you know, I thought about this. If I went to a brand new place, I don't know if I could adjust. You know, it's tough. It's tough. And when you came up here, did you know anybody in this area?
Well, yes.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, I had 2 brothers and their wives lived in the area. My wife had a brother in
you had a
Blue
lot of
Ridge and a
family.
sister in LJ. You know, and
It makes it a little easier, doesn't it?
oh, it makes it tremendously easier.
Yeah.
And within a week of me moving in, I joined the Kiwanis Club. It gives you an instant, another 30 people that you know.
Right.
You know,
right.
I was in Kiwanis in Orlando, and it was just what I did.
Yeah,
And instantly I knew some of the movers and shakers in the town.
Right.
Eddie Ayers, the county extension agent.
Right.
And, Tommy Vanoy, and just several. Kevin Painter.
So it does make it easier to adjust to a new place.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Had we come up here by ourselves and didn't have that, it would have been a tough adjustment. It really would have been a tough adjustment.
A lady told me that she moved to our area and she said it's been very hard to meet people. And I thought, you know, that is strange. But when I came here from Atlanta, I had a large family, so I didn't have to meet anybody because I had a large family up here. But you think about that, moving to a strange place. Well, you know Ted and you know me, so there's 2 for you. And then I'm going to take you to, and you know Freddie, and I'm going to take you to Tri-State Animal, and you know Marvin and Joe now, and you know Ron and Shirley, so you know people from, you know.
People, but they live in
it would be a
Tennessee.
hard adjustment.
Yeah. Be a hard adjustment, but I found that people are so giving up here, and you could talk to them, just about anybody will talk to you, and,
Right.
and the bonds are very easily made.
Yeah. And you knew my buddy David White.
Yes, I did. He was a neighbor of mine.
He's such a precious, precious man, and I think about him every single day. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about. Our Tuesdays at the Yellow Jacket, we all got together and we all had a meal, and then our birthday, he always took me out for my birthday, and it was just a special, special day. And he was one of those that was so easy to meet. And I have actually made relationships, this sounds crazy, but I've met people in the grocery store, because there's something about a grocery store in a small town. People talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the busy time and it's not the crazy time. You stop and speak to people, or you get to know people in the grocery store. So it's very different.
Oh, without a doubt, it's different.
Very different. Now, what's the population? When we left Orlando, I think the population was 52,000 when I left. What is the population today?
Way over 100,000. Way over. Oh,
Yeah, way over.
Well,
Yeah.
in our day too, we considered what's now Altamont and Longwood as Orlando.
Correct.
Right.
Because we called it North Orlando.
Right.
To me, it's still Orlando, but it's not.
Right.
You know.
Well, I remember downtown Orlando, Ivy's department store.
Oh, that's all gone.
It's not
Yeah.
there. I remember Jordan Marsh. Is it there?
That's gone now.
It's gone. Ronnie's Restaurant. It's
That's
gone.
gone.
Colonial Plaza was
Well,
completely.
there's a shopping center. It's one of those outdoor, and it's very successful. Yeah, very successful.
But Mother worked at Minute Maid then, and Minute Maid was the big company to work for in Florida.
Now, did you work at the executive offices?
In
there?
Orange Blossom
Okay.
Trail, she
Okay.
was in marketing and management. Yeah, and she loved her job.
West
and she loved.
Colonial.
Yeah, it's West Colonial and OBT. Yep, the corner of OBT and West
Right.
Colonial. Yeah, and I remember how successful Minute Maid was, and then Coca-Cola bought Minute Maid, and Mother got transferred to Atlanta. And that's when the devil came to visit us, because I was so mad at my mama for moving us from this tiny
'cause
town.
she could walk to work, which
She
I
could
don't think
walk to
she
work.
did much. But
Yeah, but we loved growing up in that small town. And so I think coming back to the mountains here for me, even though I'd never lived in the mountains, was like kind of going back to Orlando as I remembered it, the small town. Ball Ground has cobblestone sidewalks.
Yep, very
And so
pretty
that
town.
reminds me of Orlando.
I like ball ground.
Yeah, Ball Ground is just phenomenal. And downtown Blue Ridge, you get to meet downtown Blue Ridge today. So, and it's a small town with quaint little shops, and you know, it kind of reminds me of the way Orlando was when we grew
Well,
up there.
Especially College Park. Now, College Park was like Mayberry.
Right.
When you think about it.
Right.
It had a little grocery store. Then it got
Still
big
does.
grocery stores, but
Not really. Publix is still very tiny.
well,
Yeah,
but if you
yeah.
remember Wren's Market on the corner of Princeton and Edgewater,
Yep.
Well, we had Fairway too.
well, Fairway came a little later.
Yeah. Came
But we
late.
had, I was there in the from about '61 through
But the best was Albert's drugstore.
Albert's Drugstore on this
Albert's
corner,
Drugstore.
but over on this
Which
corner,
is now CVS.
Yeah.
Albert's, and then you had Walton's Drugs
Yep.
on this corner of Smith, and I mean, you had churches, you had a
still-
little grocery store, you had a barber shop or two, and you had
And
just
I
everything.
remember the drugstore did delivery. Do you remember that?
My brother did them.
Yeah, they did delivery. And I think, was it 50 cents extra for a delivery? Yeah. And it was great, because that was the coolest thing ever. You didn't have to get out in traffic, and they would load it up in their car, and they'd make 5 or 6 deliveries to a lot of people, and
Well,
it was
College
done.
Park is still like, for instance, when we grew up, so then I moved out of College Park to the west side of Orlando, and then my husband and I came back to live in the old family home. There was nothing left downtown. It was basically all gone. Now it's totally different. There's all kind of little shops, all kind of quaint restaurants, and it's busy, but it's still quaint and small.
But it's,
So
it's a different type. It's more like
Yeah.
Park Avenue, Winter Park.
Well, it doesn't.
different.
It doesn't have quite those prices, but yeah.
Do you remember when we used to rent a bicycle built for 2 there, and you could ride a bicycle?
You can still rent a David Cycles.
Can
you
you?
can still rent a bicycle. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
there's
was a
another
lot of
one up
fun.
the street. They have 2 bicycle shops now in College Park. So
And I remember one of my favorite things was the trampoline park, where you could pay so much for so much time and play on the trampolines or rent a bicycle. And that was just downtown Orlando. That was part of what we did, you know. And it's something now. We have zip lines in Blue Ridge. We have zip lines, we have fishing, we have rafting, we have canoeing, kayaking, so many things to do in Blue Ridge. So today you're going to fall in love with Blue Ridge.
Okay.
It's on my agenda. I'm going to keep her there until she falls in love with it. And we're not putting her on the plane to go back to Orlando until she says, I really like Fannin County.
And the Blue Ridge Mountain.
And the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's right. That's right. Well, Bella has been so good. You know, I've had a lot of animals on the show, from a mule to a snake to a big, huge spider to a bobcat, and Bella has been probably the best. We had
she
a goat over here
She doesn't
one day.
talk back.
No, and we had a goat over here one day that peed while it was on the air, and I'm like, oh gosh. But part of recovery and losing a spouse or losing a child is to develop a great relationship with a pet, and it really does help, doesn't it?
Right. It does.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
She's my little salvation.
Yep, yep. And she's a rescue, so you're her salvation. So, yeah.
We're good for each other.
There you go. There you go. I want you to meet Dr. Mitchell too, because when you're talking about getting a vet, he is top of the line. He is top of the line, and he's down in the little tiny town of McCaysville. So we're going to spend some time there. Yesterday was so much fun, and our birthday last night, it was a joint birthday effort from Ron Singleton and Shirley and Marvin and I, and Shirley got to be a part of that, and food was phenomenal. And we have to say, if you have not tried this dressing, I believe
delicious.
I could wallow in it.
Right. Well, we found out he'll sell us some. So.
A pint of it, yeah.
Or, no, he said a pint or a quart.
Yeah.
So.
Is it called, what is it now?
Sweet garlic vinaigrette.
Sweet garlic vinaigrette. And it is
it's
sweet, it
really
is garlicky.
good.
It does have blue cheese in it, but it was
Well,
phenomenal.
not in the dressing. That was on the salad.
It was crumbles, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal,
was
so
delicious.
you will love that.
Yeah.
I hope you have something very special planned for the weekend. Please get out and use your camera and capture the moment in these beautiful North Georgia mountains from Ball Ground to Turtletown. All the tiny towns we serve have something very special that will lure you. If you're just here visiting, I guarantee you there's something that will make you want to stay. And if you haven't been to downtown Ball Ground, check that out. The new Italian restaurant is open. It's to go only, which is very strange to me because I think you ought to sit down and enjoy a meal with somebody. But anyway, that's going to be a great success. And in Blue Ridge, there are so many places you can go, whether it be for coffee or dessert. Just get out and get to know these tiny towns. And if you get to know them long enough, you may decide to relocate here. From Orlando, from Birmingham, from the Carolinas, there's something in these mountains that's going to lure you, and hopefully you'll make these mountains your home. And you know, the other thing we didn't even talk about, there's a wonderful new casino up in North Carolina. Ted, have you been there yet?
I have not.
Well, it's hugely successful with jobs, and if you're in the market to work a little bit part-time, the casino is still hiring, and they love the older folks. Just a little hint, if you're older, they like those mature folks who know what they're doing. So, and they are still hiring a little
She's
bit.
calling us mature.
I think so,
call y'all
too. That's like calling the kettle black, isn't it?
Thank you for being here today, both of you. We're going to leave you now where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. We're headed to Blue Ridge. We're going to see the mountains, we're going to see the rivers, and we're going to see some good friends. We'll see you again soon, only on ETC3.
Little ones 8, 9, 10 saying daddy, daddy, better go back again. It must be a mighty fine town, oh, town, oh, town, oh. Daddy, daddy, go back again, for it must be a mighty fine town, oh. The fox and his wife, without any strife, they got up the goose with